ano? Iwanghang? Yung OVC?
Hindi mo hapon.
Yung bits. Yung bits.
Oo.
Parang ganyan din yun eh. Pero yung lasa. Ayan.
Try.
Stop.
Ingay talaga ng bunganga mo talaga. Pagkatrim mo lang sa taas, tingnan mo. Mega lang shout out to Teresa Santiago. Salamat, Teresa. Joy Buds, mega lang shout out. Teresa. Joy Buds. John share. Salamat, John.
Masarap yan.
Okay.
Ayan, ubus mo na yan. At saka sila.
Hoy, doon kayo. Ang ingay pa ng bunganga nito, oh. Sampal ko na to yan. Rizalyn Reyes, mega love shout out. Wait lang, wag mo na magbaba dyan ha. Sakalin kita dyan. Giatay ka kay. Matay. Oh, dai.
Ano? Ano?
Ano ba yung binigay mo dyan? Kinde?
Ano yan?
Yata ako. Patay tayo dyan. Sana Bekbek, Miga Love shoutout. Salamat, Be. Harang pa. Galina Reyes, sabi ko, maya, magbaba gusto talaga masakal to. Hindi ko naman pinapalitan. Buti hindi Julina magdangal yan.
Wala ay pitapsan.
Huwag ito, soft drinks na naman itong babanatan mo. Paking kita eh. Ah, sige, lakasan naman yan. Maya dikit para kapit-kapit. Ayaw ko magdangal. Gusto ko reyes. Di atay.
I got this pretty old bag, but could use a little bit more gravel here on this part of the number one and I didn't need it because stuff here gets more.
Ilagay mo doon sa tabihan. Kukunin mo na naman yan. Pasaway ka ah. Kanina hindi ka nagpapasaway. Balin kita eh.
Finish. Set it up with less tomorrow when I do that. But it was pretty well wicked then. Turned out nice.
Jenny Legaspi, invite ni Kita Yos. Ay. Salamat Joy, saglit lang Joy ha. Kaya lista ko pa to si Bakikay.
Okay. Or I had it on, it turned out really nice. You got a pretty darn flat. It's not crown to it. They shouldn't have any water, so now
Si
once the
Joy.
2-8 packs to get a good, from the pack, it will hold water if it's got low stuff. So I made him enough room back here where he can start a new burn pile just to use already in the process. So it looks good. This shape here, this three legs of this driveway tied together right here in the center. It's kind of like a bowl. Real hard to get everything
Si
smooth.
Joy. Jasmine Reyes Palisdak eh. Grabe siya.
On the next brother.
Hindi atay. Lagay mo na lang lahat yan. Tibak o tuwad. Subukan mo magtuwad, sampalin kita.
Kesa naman mo, buti nag-song na sa Vans with Sing ako.
Sabi ko sa'yo, may panlaban ka na tuwad, oy. Sige, lakasan mo para makapiright ako dito. Hindi talaga nag-iisip to. Gusto mo pa ba? Lady Marie, mega love shout out. Tamshe, Jonathan, mega love shout out. Lady Marie. Wala, may gagong dalawang tuwad. Tumuwad talaga. Alam ko yan kay kung sino. O, di ba may nagtuwad nga? Thumbs up, Dan. Marimar, mega love shout. Kilala ko yung sakay. Kilala ko. Siya yun.
straight.
Ah,
What am I going to do? I'm trying to find COVID restrictions to get the airplanes.
ah,
You know, like I was trying to get up for Japan.
Japan?
$1,000. But it's, you know, it's still restrictions. There's no, you gotta follow the restrictions, but nothing is saying what the restrictions are at the time.
Oh,
Like the one for Taiwan, I try to look for restrictions for Taiwan.
ah.
It's from October. Nothing, you know, nothing happening. What about November?
That's the problem.
I don't want to think to fuck up on me again because if I stay here longer, how much is it gonna cost?
Yeah, that's the trouble.
Double the price?
Welcome ka dyan? Wala.
Manong. Jonathan. Marimar, mega love shout out, Doktora.
Signs of a Psychopath, only on Discovery Plus. Subscribe now at 129 pesos for the first year. Don't miss out.
Iba't ibang promos na nagpumatay sa iyo ngayong Shopee ang nagkakalangan Big Christmas Sale. Patungan, daily gift discounts para sa mas pinaslit na shopping experience. Tara, check out Maria.
Hello, friends, and welcome back to r/I don't work here, ladies. And I think today is another great day to hear more news stories about crazy people. So have a comfortable seat. I don't work at this hotel, lady. I do contract IT work for a big international company that sells point-of-sale solutions to hotels and restaurants. I basically implement the systems to end users, big companies' customers. I typically spend from 2 to 5 weeks working on 4-star and even better hotels. Whenever possible, if the hotel's construction stage allows it, if it's new, or if it's not booked solid and the hotel's already open, the hotel will also have the
Maraming salamat.
economically, it makes more sense to them to lodge me and feed me themselves rather than send me elsewhere and be billed for my expenses later. Hotels often
Lusob Reyes family, Yahoo.
for example, elevator
Nalistan na kita, ginatan.
only going 1 floor up or down. Do not enter the guest room or recreation areas if you have no business going there, etc. Usually on my first day of work, we have a meeting with the
Crystal Pet Arellano, mega love shout out.
introduced to the employees I'll be interacting with.
RMB Vlog, mega love shout out.
Office or a banquet room to set up the equipment, train employees on the POS system, etc. I don't care to work early or late hours, and the hotel staff usually allows me access to my work areas.
Carla.
At this particular hotel, I was given a back office, and I'm working at 8 p.m. one night. The
Sige, be.
security manager walks in and sees me working with the equipment. Hey, ho, security lady. Hi, you working with IT? Me. Hi, yes, I'm setting up the new POS system. ASL. Okay, cool.
Manghod, sabi ni Carla.
My assigned office very early. After some time, I got thirsty. They left some water bottles for me, but no ice, so I went out to get some. I passed by ASL, said good morning to her, and keep walking. Took a plastic cup from the breakfast buffet. I already had breakfast earlier. Took the elevator from the first to second floor. Walked through a room area corridor to the ice machine, then took a different elevator back down to the first floor. When I was opening my door,
Agoy, nag-transfer si Ate Carla Reyes.
that's when I realized she's been following me the whole time. ASL.
Mabel's done na po, pasukli, please.
Employee policy violations back there. I have to write you up. You'll probably get fired for this.
Baka hindi mo na naman nilagyan ng ano ha? RMB, baka hindi mo nilagyan mayang.
ASL. Sure you do. You're an IT guy. You told me last time. Me. I'm an IT guy, all right, but I don't work for the property. ASL. So you work for the corporation. You still have
Ate
to-
Carla, and to all Reyes family ha.
Sorry for the confusion. This is ASL. I'm a contractor. I don't work for the property. I'm over the corporation. ASL. Lying about it now will only make it worse. I need your name and employee ID, please. The hotel's food and beverage director walks in on us. Hello, ASL. What's going on? Hello, food and beverage director. I need to report this employee citing my violations to him. ASL, part of your functions are knowing your fellow hotel employees, telling them apart from guests as well as contractors. This fellow is a contractor and a registered guest. We've talked about this before.
Agoy, ligaspi na naman, ha ha ha.
So I excused myself and went to my assigned work area. After this episode,
Ang ganda ng mga apelyido.
but never saw a whole security again. But numbnuts as an insult was never more appropriate than now.
Uwi ka talaga.
She managed to do this multiple times. And our second story. My home is your doctor's office. So a bit of backstory here. I just moved in.
Tinuwala na naman ako sa buang.
Our apartment is under a doctor's office.
Hindi pa rin
Near a few other doctors.
hindi pa rin maka
Since I was doing that,
recover. Gusto kasi takpan ni mali.
this new store needed an opening. The show started at 5:45 a.m., so I'd have to get up at 5 a.m. I was
Meron.
doing those shifts, which
Ayan,
was
oh.
difficult since
That
my
yung
host the earliest I'd have to wake up for work was 10. My boyfriend worked later shifts, usually going in an hour.
Miss me guys, sabi ni LJ Reyes.
So to be able to spend time with him at night, I'd take a nap while he was at work. At the time of this story, we lived in the apartment for about a month. Between work and day-to-day life, we weren't completely unpacked with a few boxes in our kitchen. This isn't a typical I don't work here story. I wasn't at my job, I was at home. And with that long-winded
Kala ko LJ Moreno.
I've been sleeping when I woke up to the
Tawa ka lang ng tawa, bakikay, hoy.
Shoving again, then pounding on it. Since I was home alone, I was obviously terrified, thinking it was an intruder or the former tenant's friends. They showed up with crap face, wanting to continue their party with the former tenant. I finally
Hiwalayan ko ng Paulo Contes.
where an elderly man stood in my hallway. Me equals me, P equals the pretty old man. Me, opening my door there to speak to the man. Is there
1, 2, 3, complete.
Is this the doctor's office? Me.
Wala kayong pasok, RMB?
If you tried the front of the house, there's a doctor's office there. Apparently that was the wrong answer because he became.
Ligo muna ako guys. Ligo na daw si Crystal Pit.
Don't give me that bull crap, you brat. I've been to the doctor's office 100 times and this is it. He's trying to force his way into my apartment. Me, trying to keep him from getting in, but not accidentally hurt him. Sir, this is a private residence. I did not give you permission to come in.
Ituwad mo nga lahat yung mga ano mo kay. Ituwad mo doon sa'yo kay.
But he's not here.
Suspenso ko ti oy. Nasuspenso ko.
You probably just
Ah.
you want to leave early, so you won't see me. He gets the door open enough to look inside. Look at this place. You call this a waiting room? It looks like
Nalimaho
some-
na ng tao ko ng bilat.
He looks at me, barefoot, school pajamas, and a WWE
Bakikay.
shirt with deadhead.
Ituwad mo lahat yan.
Receptionist, are you? You should take pride in your workspace and appearance. Now, get the doctor now. Me. I managed to push the old man away from my door so I could slam it shut, not caring if I heard him or not. Sir, like I said, this is my home, and I'm telling you to leave. Me. I'm reporting you to the doctor, but I'll make sure you're fired. And with a stick to my front door and screen door, he disappeared to harass some other poor soul who made the bad decision to live near a medical building. Man,
Tiplat yung dagway oh.
1902.
Oo, matong dagway.
Internet store. But this number is on the flyer.
Doon. Anong doon?
I'm back thing about
Sabing bawal ka dito.
landline rings. The landline is only there for emergencies and only ever rings for one reason. A wrong number. 9 times out of 10, it's somebody
Oo, doon may tuwad lahat.
party store with a similar number to mine.
Ituwad ko rin lahat yung ninja ko.
Not a party store, that's the end of it.
Para ibalik ko lang yung ginagawa niya.
So I pick up the phone anyway. Me. Hello. Hello. Yes, I'd like to rent an inflatable water slide. Can you tell me how much that costs?
Ako'y ligod.
This party store really knows how to do it up front. I mean, are you water slides? Okay. I'm sorry, you have the wrong number.
Basta. Parati akong tinuturan na ma-premier, maano, tinuturan niya ako eh. Rose Andrea, sige, atay ka. Hindi siya mahal ng magulang niya. Aha, Rose Ann, I miss you too, todo. Kinsa man na. Mo lagi. Kala niya siguro. Perte na dyan niyang sikata. Mo lagi. Patingin niya siguro sa sarili niya ba, sobrang sikat na siya.
A lifesaver for me when writing papers because it's essentially like a digital writing assistant. Once you download it as your browser extension, it can provide writing feedback in real time. It has a word count feature to make sure you're meeting your paper requirement, and it allows you to set goals so you can customize your paper based on your audience. Upgrading to Grammarly Premium is one of the best decisions I've made. I write all my papers on Google Docs, so with Grammarly Premium, you can just tap on the little Grammarly icon at the bottom of the document and review and apply.
Welcome to r/Reddit Revenge. This is the story of someone getting back at someone with revenge after being wrong. Thank you, friends, for subscribing to the channel and for so many likes. The first
Odette, Reyes, oh yeah, giatay ka magkikay.
So I took his business away. The second story, guy peed me off and got a fine.
Last na to, punta na ako men.
The boss did not pay me for my work and loses $1 million. And the first story is taking down a shady cell phone store. This story takes place a good 15 years
May
ago.
Diyos nakakita sa lahat, kaya hayaan na lang. Give love to each other. Hoy, wala pa nga number 1, 2, 3 mo. Ah, wala pa ba? Mayroon nakapin sa taas ka eh.
It was independently owned. It had all the carriers available. Singular, yes, that old. T-Mobile and Verizon. I found myself working below minimum wage. $5.
Huwag ka maingay dyan sa live, boy.
This was my first job, so I didn't know what I was doing. So I stayed in the shop with the boss for about 2 days. He worked to show me what to do and gave me a list of things on what to do in case I needed help. Now, I had no concept of work. I was working very weird hours, whenever boss told me to. I worked 8 hours to 12 hours, sometimes 7 days a week. After a while, I noticed he would leave the store. He would often open the door for me and not come back until close to closing. I had to often order food because I had no way of buying food without leaving the store. I had no key to lock up. He would only show up if someone called to have him do the contract and such. He was so shady that 90% of the time, he gives his clients bad deals and terrible cell phones. Then they show up a few days later asking me for compensation. I had no power, so I basically had to take a blunt rant. Whenever
Simple Marlene, mega love siya
I would convince a buyer on a certain plan. My boss would find an excuse to send me away so he can close the deal, hence earning my commission. Another shady thing he does to me is he always accuses me of stealing phones. He once had a phone in his shirt pocket, kept accusing me that I took a phone. I ended up calling it, and it was in his shirt pocket all along. Another time, he accused me of stealing 2 brand new Nokia phones, to which a few days later,
Di ba
I found out I
maabrehan?
sold it to some guy, is they brought the phone back after they dropped it. due to the
Pa-entry ka na
secret
dyan,
I
Simply
lost.
Marlin.
Now, that last thing he did to me was my paycheck. I was dumb. I worked 1 month without getting a single dime. Then it went on
Sige,
to 2
tanggalin
months.
ko muna.
Whenever I asked him, he would say, "Oh, I don't have my checkbook."
Buang
Or
masiro
he'd
ni man di
accuse me
man
of stealing
ma-play.
the phone, so I don't get a paycheck this week. Or some random dumb excuse. The revenge. So for the last 2 weeks of me working, I was fuming. I basically wasted half my summer and I didn't get a single paycheck. So I thought to myself, if he was accusing me of stealing cell phones, why not make his ideology come true? So I took 2 phones in total worth around
Ma'am
$400 each.
Cristel,
I
sabi
know,
ni
I
Simply
should have done this, but I was
Marlin.
15 and I wanted money. After that, I told him I'll stop working and demanded for my paycheck. Meanwhile, my parents were also fuming. I was spending half my summer working at this place with no compensation. They happen to have a friend who works for the Department of Labor. We asked him for advice, and they told us to let them know so they could investigate. So now my father and I walked into the store and threatened my boss to turn him into the Department of Labor. He continues to accuse me of stealing his phones, and I asked for proof, to which I knew his cameras don't work and are there for show. After a long argument, he finally pulls out his checkbook, but I told him I don't trust him. I demanded for cash. He was reluctant but finally gave in. I never ended up getting anywhere close to what I should have gotten. I think he only paid me $5 times 40 hours times a week.
Pura-wara ka radyo tong giluto dai.
Now, I wasn't going to let him go that easily. I still passed
Badlunga ra to, tuwa na po dito naga.
I also
Sino
rang
ko
up
kon
one
buta ah.
coworker who actually warned me about the boss. But
Hindi
believing
mo
my
dyan,
friend
guys.
introduced me, I thought I'd be fine. I told him to expect his paycheck maybe. I also had a list of all the shady business deals my boss did. Gave them the boss's direct phone number, so they can scream at him, instead of the next fool the boss cons into working for him. I also called up all the cell phone companies,
1,
warning
2,
them of the
3.
shady business this store was doing. About 45 minutes later, my friend hits me up on AIN and told me his uncle closed up shop, and they weren't sure where he was. The second story is, throw a beer at me, enjoy your DUI. Okay, to give some backstory to this, when I was younger, I used to work as a starter/ranger for a golf course. This was in the era where cell phones was not a big thing, so 99 to 2004-ish. I worked there in my late teens to early 20s. This course is
Ma'am, wala ka
an
na
important
rin
part
po
of my
palang
day,
sa
and
Team
it's
Lab.
family run-owned. The start job is making sure
Bakit?
people
Ano,
are
Simply
on
Marlin?
track, and the flow of people on was steady. The ranger was making sure people are playing swiftly, and also enforcing course rules. I sit in a shack near the clubhouse until I get a complaint notice.
Hindi kasi ako nakaka-support kaya umalis ako, mahirap nakakahiya.
There's some people drinking and generally being loud and obnoxious during the course of play. So I get in the Rangers golf cart and eventually come upon these guys. I happen to notice 3 things. 1, they're just leaving their empty beer cans on the ground. 2, these guys opted for golf carts for their playthrough. And 3,
Dancing me,
they had a
dance sa
cooler on the
4-5.
course.
Ayun.
2 course rule violations and 1 state rule violation. So I come to this group and it has 3 people in it. I asked them kindly, would you please refrain from drinking on the course against our rules? One of the people starts laughing at me and takes one of their half-full cans of beer and throws it at me, and they scurry off in their cart. Now for the revenge. They were already on the 7th hole of blue, and I did remember letting one of those guys on, with a red to blue 18 rotation. We have 27 holes with 9 holes each. Red, blue, gold courses. So I decided to tail back and follow them out to see what cars they
Mega
were
Mega
in.
Love, shout out Bunsong Binske
I do this to get the model,
channel.
make, and license plate number of the car. Here's your kicker. Across the street from our course is a county sheriff, and I happen to have his home phone number. He happens to golf here a lot, and he gave me his number in case of issues. Well, this is an issue, and I call him and relay what I saw and tell him the info I got. Thankfully, these A-hats went into the clubhouse to eat lunch before leaving, so it gave plenty of time to get the sheriff to wait. So they get done eating, and I decide to go wait near the entrance to watch the fun go down. Lo and behold, the sheriff was there in his driveway, ready to pounce, and here comes our A-hats driving out. They go left, which is the exact direction of the sheriff, and boom, flashing lights, and they thankfully pull over. The dude that threw the can at me was the driver, so I just start watching some more, and the sheriff starts administering the test he does for sobriety. He falls on one. And like a dumb A, he can sense the
RMB.
I don't know what he blew, but it was enough to
Samanta
turn
dan
around
po.
and
Sige,
arrest
sige,
him. And then he
sige.
saw me.
Maliit lang ha, bababa lang.
Waving at him with a giant smart A grin on my face. Okay, I now know the laws on drunk driving and breathalyzers. It's still illegal to drive any motor vehicle under the influence.
Grabe ang lipstick ni RMB eh.
This is what I was told at the time the rules was. I was told it was
Dan
a state rule not to
one.
drink and operate a golf cart. The coolers and alcohol on course was our rule because you had an option of taking a cart or walking the course. Sometimes the cans and glass gets left on the course and tends to screw up our maintenance equipment. You know fair
RMB.
Everyone just loved my presentation, and I only spent 30 minutes on research. Other
Next,
Everybody
ang
knows
bagal
it's
magbaba.
nothing alike. I know a lot of
Giatay
places
nga
who allow
kikay.
this, but ours didn't. Don't drink and drive, and don't F with people who enforce rules on a golf course. The last story is, don't F with my money.
Dan
How
2.
I got my revenge on a boss that didn't pay me. I was working for a local computer build company back in the 90s. The owner, let's call him George, was a bit of a D that liked to party. He struggled to get his business off the ground and took the lion's share of the profits made once it did. All that's to be expected. You take the risk, you take the rewards. I came on and ended up the best tech he ever had in the shop. He paid me fairly well, but not enough for what I was doing. I finally started doing on-site work for a substantial amount more, and we were both happy. I got 30% of the on-site fee per hour, and he got 70%. Now, during this time, the computer industry was tightening up, and profit margins had shrunk. The owner decided to do some shady things. One time, George replaced name brand motherboards in the computers I sold to a customer for a network.
Lucky
with generic
tusok na
crap.
po. Dan
Half of
3.
them failed during install. Since I had listed a name brand motherboard on the invoice, I took them all back and forced him to replace them. Otherwise, it would have been fraud. All he had to say was, but I make another $40 per workstation if I use the cheaper part. The next thing that happened was I made a 10 computer plus server sale for a new network. I hadn't worked in the build shop for a few months and noticed that they were
Vince,
cloning
dan na
drives
po.
to speed up the build
Pasukli,
process.
please. Sabi ni
Not a big deal
RMB.
normally, but I lost a client due to the owner's shady practices. He cloned the drives, then failed to put the certificate in the customer package for the OS in Office. He couldn't get around the server license, so at least the client had that. Every time the client called about the key codes, he'd tell them they were on back order. He was cloning preloaded and pre-activated drives with Windows and Office. I finally got tired of it and walked over to where the software was kept and took the licenses to the client. I had noticed the cabinet was unlocked, so took matters into my own hands. Client was still so peeved off that he refused to do business with me, while I still worked for that company. George saw me and accused me of stealing. I looked at him and said, I'm getting what the client paid for and taking it to them. I'll make sure I have them sign a receipt for the software. You seem to have forgotten to include in their purchase. After that, I started to pay attention to what was going on in the shop. I insisted on software before I even left the building with the client's systems. The piracy got worse and worse. Now, during this time, I was making about $50,000 a year from that 30%. So George was clearing at least that much
6,
off his
7, 8.
70%,
Next,
even after
giatay.
taxes, etc.
Madali
One day
ni
he comes
buang.
to me and says, I think I have to start
Dan
charging you for
singing
your
me.
cell phone. This was back in the day, when if you really needed a cell phone, most companies paid for it. I said, that's fine, George, but I want 35% of the on-site fees. To which he replied, I was going to lower it to 25% and make you an independent contractor. I was honestly left speechless. I just walked over to the bar in the shopping center and sat down and drank beer for the better part of 2 hours. It was the end of the day, and I didn't have a client, so no worries there. I sat for another 2 hours after that, just drinking water and thinking. I made the decision to go my own way. If I was going to have to pay both sides of my Social Security, then F George.
Okay ra na ang video ron.
The next day, I drove around to several of my clients.
Buti ka pa nga eh. May ano pa eh.
I secured a dozen that said they would stay with me.
May mga ano pa na tawag dito.
One of my clients told me,
Yung
George
parang,
wasn't the one who showed up at 5 a.m. before the restaurant
ay
opened.
naku,
Their
ewan ko
point
ng
of sale
tawag.
system crashed. I was. When George's shop opened, I walked in with my phone, charger, etc. Found George, placed it all in his hands, said I quit and walked out. I went and got a phone and called the clients I had spoken with and gave them my new number. Payday came around the next day, and I was expecting a bit over $2,000 in the check. George had called payroll in several days earlier as always. Well, lo and behold, no check. When I confronted him, he cussed me out and told me he owed me nothing. I calmly told him, are you sure? It'll cost you a lot more than $2,000 if you refuse to pay me what I earned. He just told me to get out, and I did. Well, I knew I had just cost him at least $5,000 a month, because nobody in the shop had a clue what to do with networks. I started my own company and grew my client base, even after having to pay all
Walay
my
uwan
taxes,
diha mayang.
government tax, and expenses.
Wala pa Kuya
I was
Prane.
saving
Kahapon,
$45,000
sobrang
a year.
uwan.
I was
Grabe.
going to leave George alone until I got word he was
Ayun.
bad-mouthing me around the city. He was saying I used pirated
Wala nga
software
kami
to
internet
parts,
kagabi eh.
things I knew he
Gawa
had
ng
done and still
ulan.
did. I would have to let it all go. When he badmouthed me, I rinsed scorched earth on his egg. Revenge. I contacted BSA. I gave names, dates, processes, practices, and more. Everything I could remember about clients that had cloned drives and withheld software. About a year later, I was reading my local news when George's company was in an article. It seems secret shoppers went in from Microsoft and bought some of his computers. In the end, they hit him with charges that he made hundreds of illegal copies of Office by cloning hard drives. This was back when once activated Office stayed active.
Saglit lang ang bababa pa ako.
He lost access to the offices that excelled in sales, all because of his crappy outlook on life. He didn't have vision and was not a man of his word. It was a joy to be the publisher of this revenge story. The end result was he had 3 stores and ended up with only 1 store, along with having to pay $1 million fine. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you liked it, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button.
Padong uwan diha mayang. Mag-uwan ng mananggi sa Manila. Manangi sa Manila. Padong nako diha sa Bulacan nag-uwan sa Manila. Naka na ang uwan sa Malinta exit na traffic. Nabri ka hinguli Kuya Prane. Nara ba kag na di kag Manila Kuya? Dan 8. Nagiatay. Manong nahibaw mo po kag nag-uwan ng Malinta. Kalatig ka. Uy, klaro ang gobernador. Usab-usab di ay. Nakakita na ba ka Kuya Prane ni ako ane Elizabeth Manden? Mayor sa Katigbian. Amo man ang igagaw. Jonathan. Amo man ang iyaan sa pagagawan. Nagunsa man mayang nang nag-module ka na aman kay notebook o ballpen lagi. Siyempre gipanglista ng mga kuan. Nakadungog ko sa inim pero wala pa kita sa personal na niya.
Oo nga. Ano ba? Higa nga, higa. Dan, higa. Mama, ganyan.
Kay Mintado. Miga love shout out si Sikoy Mabel's day off. Naalagi kay batang gamay mayang bag-o ka ng anak kalatig Kuya Prane. Anak ng kapatid ko. Jonathan. Salamat si Sikoy Mabel's. Dan Tamsak X. Sao nang tao pa panganak Kuya Prane tiguwang naman ko giatay. Past 11. Jonathan, Binskay 4-5. Salamat si Sikoy sa pabidye. Kikay dalawa. Ate Mabels. Kinsa man day imong gobernador sa Bohol si Yap? Wa man ay klaro si Yap. Dili mo gukutig buto dito in taon. Uy, dili man ko nagpuyo. Wala man ko nagpuyo dito eh. Ay, di ay no, membro naman di ay ka sa BIR babaeng iniwan ng regla. Balew! Di na tuloy ko makamao magsulat dito, giatay ka Kuya Prani. Iniisip ko tuloy ano ba yung kadugtong Binskay. That is the meaning of BIR. Grow, I was a member of Girl No Menstruation already retired. BIR naman ka mao di na ka. Maganak, digbak, makaanak pa. Tawa tuloy yung asawa ko, Kuya Prane, giatay ka Kuya Prane. Sabi niya dayo, BIR, babaeng iniwan ng regla. Ay, Diyos ko. Buang-buang si Kuya Prane, eh. Hola, amigo. Usaway. Kuya Prane. Ang ganda ng bahay ni Kuya Prane, ah. Ang laki ng kanyang bahay. Sana all. Ate Sunel, mega mega love shout out. Buenas tardes, amigo. Ano? Buenas tardes. Chani Bek dan 11, 6, 13. Saglit lang guys ha. Naku mayang wa pa na mahuman akong balay. Pariha jud ta Kuya Prane. Sali. Bonus apa na yung aho pod. Kagigising lang. Saan ka galing, Ate Sunel? Ba't kagigising lang? Tulog ka? Bumbimba. Inis talaga yung ganito. Malabas pa. Just like running the bathroom on continue playing your favorite games. Buff is every game is paradise as rewards you for what you love to do best. Download now for free. Dan 6, hinay-hina, anak ko mayang. Hinay-hinay lang tao na, mahuman na kadugayan, maulag eh.
Loss prevention, protective services, and anyone in general who gets paid to watch people, etc.
At least may matulungan akong anak, di mabasa sa matulugan. Tanawa sa tungong ko na to day. Ay.
With that, let me set the stage and introduce the cast. I had just finished high school that year and did not really have a plan for my immediate future. At the same time, a very well-known paper mill in my country had a crisis, as most of their staff went on a long-term strike over a wage dispute. Now back then, companies were allowed to hire temps to fill the positions as best they could until the situation was resolved. I saw an ad from them in the local newspaper and of course applied. They were desperate for staff, so there was no back and forth or interview or anything. Simply, what skills do you have? This is what we'll pay, you're hired. The factory was in another town a few hours away, so I got on the bus and off I went. I won't bore you with the details, but what is important is that I got assigned as a weigh bridge operator, which meant I reported to the head of security. My job was to weigh trucks coming in with loads of lumber, and then to weigh them again when they left empty, so that the paper mill had a record. We worked 12-hour shifts. I was on night shift, got 3 meals a day and free accommodation in the company's employee quarters. It was awesome. Now let me introduce my boss, the head of security. He was about 55 years old or so. We'll call him Fred. He was a rather big man with a very stern expression, smoked like a chimney, and spoke in a voice that would make drill sergeants weep with envy. He was also the funniest guy I ever met. Fred had been with the company so long he just did not give any flips, and he had a very mischievous personality, which he promptly revealed once we had contact a few times. We became fast friends. Perhaps I should explain why we clicked. I was just getting off shift one morning when Fred came to the bridge, stood in the door, and proceeded to use some very colorful language while brandishing a weight receipt and telling me how stupid I was for doing it wrong. He even compared my face to a bee at some point. I was all of 17 going on 18 and had never heard half the words he used. He sounded angry, but his eyes didn't look angry, so I figured he was trolling. So I started laughing and told him to give me the receipt. I checked my work, called him over, and pointed out to him that it was he that was the idiot, and asked him if he had failed basic math in school. Then I finished by telling him that while my face might look like a bee, at least my head was not full of SH, like some heads of security around the place. He stormed out in mock anger, taught me a few new swear words while winking, and left. My coworkers, all temps, were in shock, because they never picked up on the trolling, and thought I was going to get fired, and that Fred was a horrible person. I figured it's probably better to let them fear the boss.
Wala pa mahuman bisita.
So I just kept quiet.
Dana po kay Rani 7.
Now, being a labor bridge operator on night shift meant that you had a rush hour around 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. when trucks came in, and then again at about 4 a.m. to 6 a.m.
Sa Nibig,
A few trucks would
RMB.
come in at other times, but most of the traffic was around the times mentioned. The quiet times were used to process receipts on the
Wala
computer
pa
system,
mo
which
diha
was
mo
usually done by
bisita sa
12 a.m.
sementeryo sa inyong
So
mga mahal
Fred
sa
comes
buhay.
up
Wala
and
pa
tells me
kuya.
to ride with him. My coworkers try to look invisible and give me looks of pity, but I just
Sunel
shrug and say,
dan sa ano
as soon
na
as we
yun.
get into the truck, Fred starts laughing.
Bilisan mo dyan sa rep!
People who didn't crap their pants when they went off. It turns out that due to Fred's resting face looking like he wanted to kill you,
Ulit ka
his
talaga.
size and his position as head of security, people expected
Matulog ka nga
him
doon,
to
Day.
do
Matulog ka,
what he
Day.
had
Mahangir kita ngayon.
so
Tingnan mo
Fred
lang.
gave him to him. Then he told me we were going to go harvest some pumpkins. Yes, I kid you not, pumpkins. The factory had a few acres of open land, and some people took it upon themselves to just farm stuff
Okay,
there.
goods.
Fred took it upon himself to harvest the crops.
Noted, balikan kita
So
sa
we went
bakas
and got a
mo,
truckload
sabi ni
full
Kuya
of pumpkins
Prani.
for Fred. Fast forward a month or so later, and by this
Sa
time I had
Nibig
gone on a few
doon.
night drives with Fred. Just normal patrol stuff, because he liked the company. We would swear at each other when he came to the bridge.
Kumpleto.
By
Salamat,
this time, my
RMB.
coworkers had picked up on a
Sunel.
rather unusual friendship. We would phone prank each other a few times, just relax. Important detail. I don't know, Fred was just Fred, and I just thought he was funny. Around 3 a.m., a lumber truck approaches the bridge. We immediately see the guy's trouble, because he's not braking fast
Ala,
enough.
natulog ka,
There was a
Day.
bit of a
Kay
downward slope as you approach.
hangir ka
He was
ugna.
filled with lumber. It was getting bad.
Kinasuntang, badlungon ka do.
So we go into emergency mode and open the gate.
Natulog
so
pa
that
yung
the driver
kapatid,
can go
yung
straight
magigising
through
na
and
naman.
hopefully slow down enough to not cause any major damage. The driver, meantime, is frantically
Sunel
trying to brake,
10.
and I guess something happened, because the next minute we see sparks. A lot of sparks. The truck slows down and stops just inside the gate, and oh boy, the wheels are on fire. The company has their own
Joy.
internal fire department.
Sa
They
Nibig
report to Fred just like me. So I get on the phone and call him. Me. Fred, we have an emergency. Fred, what do you want, F-face? Me. Now's not a time for jokes. We have a lumber truck on fire. Fred. Yeah, pull the other one. Me now panicking a bit, because my boss thinks I'm going to joke. Fred, I need a fire truck here right now, you stupid effing idiot. There's a truck on empty
Done
fire. The wheels are
14.
burning. Fred, the wheels? Just pee on it or something. Me, very peeved off. Fred, here's what's gonna happen. I've officially reported an emergency to you, but you're too much of a D to know when playtime is over. So I'm gonna hang up now and just let the effing truck burn to the ground. And you can then explain to your
Murag
boss
daghan
why
mo
that
mo
happened.
diha
So I hung up the
nagtaga-buhol
phone and went
kita
back
mo sa
outside to
imong
help clear the area.
live
Now
sa
I should
FB
note that the call only
nag-inuman
lasted
kay
maybe 30 seconds.
ay mga kuan man
About
to
2 minutes
mga
after the call, the fire truck mercifully shows
mga
up
pinsan
and
ko.
starts spraying chemicals. I don't know what they use. It's like the
Mga
white
pinsan
powder
ko yung
found in
iba
the
tapos yung iba mga
Fred's truck is
mga
right behind him.
kakilala lang.
He parks and walks over it.
Think it was time seven. Ano yan?
Tapos yung baka yung nakita mo yung mga ano, trabahante doon sa kabilang bahay.
No, Fred, I was
12,
not there.
13,
The truck was
14.
fine though. It turned out that the brakes had started failing and then locked, which is why sparks started flying. The rear tires caught fire from the heat of the friction caused by the locked brakes. The fire guys quickly contained it, and the truck only had to get some tires and a bit of wiring replaced. All in all, it probably looked a lot scarier than it really was. But I was
Mga trabahante lagi.
I suspect
Okay, magiinom na sila, naghuman nila og trabaho.
Just messing with me. If so, he got me good. The second story is, we towed his car, and now he's going to sue us. I posted this before on
Pila edad itong imong daga, kuya?
I just found this up, and I thought it would fit well here as well.
Danten.
This all happened about 10 years ago, when I worked first shift at a small Midwestern university as a security officer. A large part of our job was to write tickets for students who parked in lots they didn't have a permit for. The tickets would then go through and be assigned to the
16.
student's account. Now, we couldn't always find out who owned the car, but we did our best to do so.
Mo na kamagwangan nimo?
The driver kept parking in the same place, which wasn't a parking spot, and was clearly marked as such. A bunch of axed lines on the ground, along with no parking stenciled inside. By parking there, it made it harder for people to turn into a certain part of the lot. We must have ticketed them 20 times, and these tickets were $30 a piece, which means they owed the university about $600. But they kept parking there. Though unfortunately, we couldn't find
Gitusok
out who
na
owned the car.
tikante.
We couldn't build them. Fast forward a few months, and I am at dispatch. There were two of us, and we took turns between patrolling and dispatching. When I hear my coworker call in that there was a car on fire in that same lot. Needless to say, I called the fire department, who were on the scene within 3 minutes. Unfortunately, they had a problem getting to the car that was on fire because of said person parking their car.
Nasa UST Manila, nag-school ng pari. 21?
No one was hurt.
Magkaano lang na kuya Pranino, atong mga anak, magkaedad ra.
After talking with my supervisor's boss and getting permission, we called
21 po na akong kamagwangan.
Easy peasy lemon squeezy.
Ang katong ikaduha, maga 20.
And about an hour and a half to 2 hours later, and the owner of the tow car comes into our office. EAS equals entitled a-hole student. Me.
Iguwang na jud ta. Iguwang na jud ta kuya Prani.
Student. Excuse me, but someone is still in my car. Me. Strongly suspecting who it was.
Iguwang na jud in
Sorry for
taon
that,
ta.
sir. What's your name and student ID? Student. Entitled a-hole student, and my ID is 1234567. Me. What's the make, model, and license plate number of your vehicle? Student tells me the make and model, but I no longer remember what it was. Me. No.
Tuwa sa kwan, tuwa sila nagpuyo sa dasma kay tuwa man dito sila nag-eskwela.
Why did you tow my car? Me. Because it was parked illegally.
Kabalay na mo sa una daan.
This is fraud. Awesome.
Silang duha tuwa
How
dito.
exactly? Student, you had no right to tow my car. Me holding a printout of students' tickets that I had printed out earlier and dramatically plopping it on the table in front of him. You have 20 tickets for parking where there is no spot, so you have no way of saying that you didn't know that you were, as I've seen them lying on your front passenger seat. Also, because you were parked there, the fire department had trouble getting to a car that was on fire. Your actions put other students at risk. Student, I don't effing care. This is fraud. You had no right to tow my car. Awesome coworker, showing student the part on the ticket where it states that you can and will be towed, and pointing out that all the lot signage says the exact same thing. We had every right to tow you. Student, this is copious fraud. I have no idea what he meant by that. And I'm going to sue. My father is the vice president of insert name of large multinational.
Iguwang na kay portrait na bayak ko.
You both lose your jobs.
Oh, Dasmariñas Cavite.
Well, sir, the best of luck.
Magguwang ka na hog tulo ka tuig oy.
Student leaves in an angry huff. We contact the big boss and let him know
Magguwang ka
about
na
the
hog tulo ka tuig. 40 mo ko.
We didn't hear from student again, and thought nothing more of the encounter, other than talking to each other about how entitled student was. A few days later,
Kaso lang ang akin kasi lalaki yung
contacted him about the
ang bunso ko kasi babae nag-iisa lang.
The father, apparently being a decent parent, accepted Big Boss's explanation and let the matter rest. The best part for me, and a bit of
Sa'yo po di ka nanguwag.
the student gave me his name and student ID number. I can now assign all the
Ay,
tickets to his
ginoo
student
ko.
account, all $600 worth. Keep in mind he couldn't sign up for new classes, change housing, or graduate unless the amount was paid in full. Also, if he illegally parked again, I could assign those ones as well. All in all, I'm happy with how it turned out. The third story is Bull Rush. I work as a security guard for a hospital, and have been doing so for almost 3 years now. As a security guard for a hospital, I have more duties than just securing a facility, the premises, and keeping visitors from causing problems. I deal directly with uncooperative patients. The most common issue when dealing with patients is drug abuse or people who don't like being there. There's just one problem with all of this, and it's because they're on what's called a 2MD hold. It's a legal means where two doctors got together, reviewed the patient's chart and mental state while there, and decided for his safety and the safety of others that they cannot leave the hospital. On a particularly slow night, which is rare for my hospital, we got a call from the nurse in the ED, emergency department, asking us to come stand by the room of a particular patient, so she can break the news that they're going to be put on a hold and will not be allowed to leave the facility until the doctor deems them stable enough. The reason behind our presence is the patient was already irate, and staff was in there earlier, and they believe the patient might crack when given the bad news. So we show up and talk with the nurse about our plan, if things go south, and what she should do while my partner and I take over. Once the plan was agreed on, we headed for the room with the nurse leading the way. As soon as she entered the doorway, we see the nurse bend backwards like the Matrix and step back. My partner and I weren't in view of what happened, and why the nurse did that, but we looked at each other with confused faces, and started to enter the room. Once we entered the room with my partner in front, he immediately gets a palm to the head and goes straight to the ground. Now, mind you, my partner is a 4-year active duty Marine and isn't by any standard small, other than being 6 foot tall. But he was no match for the 6'7", 350 pounds patient, which they failed to mention such information. Now my partner is on the ground. I'm standing there for a second going WTF and kind of stunned at the size of this guy. Luckily for me, I'm 6'10", 450 pounds, and reacted fairly quickly by taking my forearm and rushing him and pushing him to the back of the room and up on the wall, where his feet were tiptoeing on the ground.
Done
All
12.
the equipment on the wall, like the suction container, the oxygen tree, and a few other bits. He finally calmed down after
15,
realizing I wasn't
16,
going to
full
let up,
pack.
and essentially causing a lot of damage to his back.
Channel bit.
And then we took him to our PES, Psychiatric Emergency Services Unit, where he can be placed in seclusion. The next day I came in, and my supervisor told me he was pressing charges against me for all the damage I did to his back after I assaulted him and lifted him up onto the wall where all that equipment would do damage. The officer who took the complaint came to get my statement, and once I corroborated what my partner had already stated, he just started laughing and essentially saying I won't be hearing anything about this case any further. I was, however, told not to go near him or even be seen by him while he was in our facility. But to me, that sounds like a great excuse to do nothing. Win for me. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.
Fifteen, 16. Wala na kanta ate. Bukas mayroon na R&B kasi may StreamYard na ako. 26 ngayon mamaya open ko yung StreamYard ko, mayroon na yan. Libre. Isa lang sa repalihog day. Kay latan kariwa. Hindi rap naguman ni pangihi. Kay magluto ko naguman og live. Dan 13. Annalyn PH, Dan Tamsak. Salamat be, Annalyn. Johnny Bekbek, Annalyn. Wala ang tao. Virgie, mega mega love, shout out mga Virgie Costellas to salamat po, Virgie Tikay. RMB.
Sinunod din eh.
Di, lunod.
Ang sama.
Lot A sana. Di na pwede lunod, di mulatan. Pait yan. Dan 13, dan 14. Ano ba, Annalyn? Dan 12 pala siya. Luding-luding ang panuway. $5 million. So, luding-luding ng yatay. Nandun din ako. Wala. 15 tsaka 13. Paghuwat day. Sarap mo talaga sungal-ngalin eh.
Ano? Buang ka. Kumain nga lang. Hintay ka pa. Kaway charger ano may 10%.
Ha?
10%.
Ito, ibalik ko dito ha. Ako na ito, tulog na. Ay, hindi pa pwede. Wala kasi akong bra. Wala. Oh. Sus, yun ako naduling ng mata na.
Alam ko.
Andyan pa ba kayo? Fourteen. Kuha nila, kape na siguro dahil palibog dahil. Wala na, mayroon pa nga eh. Dalawa na lang. Team Ganda, Arceli, Mega Mega Love, Sherat, Lian. Anong pangalan nito? Yan.
Nagigigil na ako sa'yo dahil.
Rachel Ann Toledo, Mega Mega Love, Sherat, Team Ganda. Lian, Rachel. Toledo. Fire Tiger. Lian. Kaingon nito si RMB. Oo.
Sabi, hindi. Huwag mo patayin yan, pinagpulog mo eh. Ay, nako. Tatanong mo bakit?
Palo, gusto mo? Six million people in the house. Thank you so much, guys. Done 15.
Kape, naninyo.
Oh, kape lang. Huwag mo na lagyan ko pimit. Ayaw daw niya. Si Sikoy Arceli, Mega Mega Love, shout out. Team Ganda. Nandin. Hindi nalista ko na kanina si Fire. Oh, nanin. 6 million people in the house. Malapit na yung premiere ko pala. Tingnan ko nga. Premiere ko. Pili ko palihog, day. Ang aking premiere.
Si Patay na talaga kita di ka makahintay. Tingnan mo. Tapon ko sa ulo mo. Because
Hindi pa tayo tapos magputo mamaya.
Ako magtapos niyan. Kala siguro niya makakalusot siya.
Kati-kati.
Pe, mega love shout out. Pe, team ganda. Ibas ko ba yan? Tama? '21, 22, 23, done po. Ang galing talaga ba? Luding-luding ng lisura ni daghan tag-operitan oy. Dapay premier, dapay maglista pa. 21, 22, 23. YT pamayang. Ano RMB nagko-comment ka sa sarili mong video? Nagko-comment siguro yan sa sariling video niya kay. TikTok, naluluding pa yata. O baka nagsige ka lang dandan dyan RMB ha. Saway ka. 24. Mauna. Naunay, uy. Tingnan mo. Kala mo, hindi ka hinuhuli ni Bakikay, ah. 3 lang yan. Ayan yung isa, binaba ko kasi may gamit yung isa eh. RMB 2, Kikay 3. Nalipat ko na may mga bakas na anti, uy. Di mga team nagbakas ako. Ano? Wajib ko kasabot ano yung mga istorya diha, uy. Tanawa rin yung duha ka cellphone busy, oh. Oy. Hapit na jud ako ang premier game. Bugbog bahak na. Kumay na jikuwang. O, di ba? Mga suso. Tigli 5 entry guys ha. Sa premier ko guys, bigyan ko kayo tigli 5 entry. Dan 17. Pildika. May kistigos ako anti Pildika.
May testigos siguro yan.
Oo, may kistigos. Mamadali kasi yan siya eh. Dan 24. Puntahan nyo guys ate guys. Ilang minutes na lang ba ang premiere ko? 33 minutes, 32 minutes pa pala. Kala ko naman. Okay. Maya pa pala to. James Idnaleg, mega mega love shoutout. Annalyn. Sanibik-bik. Masarap kaya mag-premiere dito sa computer. Diretso-diretso lang dito eh. O di premiere na. Face mo lang kasi may jacket naman ako. James. Chani Bekbek. Atay mang kanti oy ayaw ipahalata jud. Sige pahalata jud. 8 million people in the house. Ipahalata jud kitaan mo, wala kong bra. Anong pahalata? Anong nahalata mo? Ay, nabuang. Karon pa daw sa hinggawas sa binlari. Apa ba na ang gawas? 12 pa malagin ang nakapil.
Ano na naman 18, 19 lagi.
Hindi, anam ko na nahukuhan kay anam man nahupin para ba yung iba dan 12, di ba? Kasi yung ibang late, maganda kasi yung saka mo na ipipin pag ano na. Basta yung iba mabilis kasi yung iba tulad ni Kikay, nako, bilis niyan. James Inalig, Johnny Bekbek. Uy, nabuang nag-awang.
Minihara mo nag-video early mo.
Ha?
Minihara ka.
23, 24, 25. Nakalimot, may ko sa huang. Dako nga sponsor ang buang. Moro pa dyan yung dako. Ay, wala. Virgie, miga love siya dan. Oh.
Yan siya.
Dan 12, dan 19, nalista ko na yan. Ay, wala. Anong wala?
Yan siya.
10.
Iso na yan. Inang oras din ang tulog.
Ay, wala ng tao.
Busy sa ano.
Pa-entry. Pag may jacket ka, ano mo lang. Dan Geraldine. Kapit na din mapuno na yung kuan ba, karton o entry, rang na yung naghana.
Hindi to gatas, uy. Sino mo gatas?
Lahan na mo doon.
Gatas.
May daghang gatas. Sobra mo ganito.
Wait lang, magtimpla si mama.
Bakit? May gatas ka ba? Huwag ka lumapit dyan ha. Mayari tayo. Ingay. Ingay ang titi mo. Ingay ng bayag mo ha.
Sige, tang timpla lang mama. Kapi yan.
Baby bears, I love you.
Oo, hati kayo. Marami to. Parang mo yan.
Ito kanina pa kita sinasabi, matulog ka, tutusukin ko talaga yung kalimutaw mo. Tingnan mo lang. Diba kayo? Natulog na lang si Dodong. Ikaw, wala talaga, matigas talaga bunga mo eh.
Diyan ka. Ay, hawakan mo na maigi yan. Ano?
Uy, piste na.
Iwan. Baka din sa nilo.
Ay, naku.
Ikaw magagaya eh. Kapi na.
Matulog ka pagtapos mo dyan ha.
Opo.
Gatas. Virgie, maraming salamat, Virgie. Hirap talaga pag walang jacket. Maganda sana pag may jacket kasi mabilis lang. Doon to Chanibikpik.
Kaya di naman mainit.
Siyempre, nakalimutan ko yung sarili ko eh.
Kape yan.
Nakalimutan kung may premier pala ako kikay. Di atay.
Kapi.
Ano, Virgie? Kasi Virgie.
Ano daw, Virgie, pa-member ka kay host natin. Ginawa ko RMB, nakakahiya. Mayroon talagang ganon.
La.
Huwag kayo magalit tita. Galit si tita. Hindi. Bawal. Inom ka na ng gatas. O, ng gatas yun. Luma. Huwag mong gumamalo ka. Upo ka na.
Diyan sa premier na gabi.
Kumain ka mo ng ano? Nakindi? Pati yung mata mo, hindi na madilat. Hangad. Hangad.
Aba, nagpakulay ang bruha. Laki na ng utang ko sa bruha, oh. Entry din yan.
Hindi na dudong.
Aba, nagpa-member na naman uli. Ang gastos talaga na to.
3 months. No? Pwede pala yun.
Oh,
Pang 3 months.
pang 3 months yan. Ngayon, ang gastos talaga na to. Guys, kole. May isa na. Sir Imbi. Mauwaw ra po kanin mo, Imbi.
Airbnb, mamembro ka na din.
Member yan na, yan.
Member pala. Ano?
Dan
Tubig,
Stone Life,
tubig.
Dan 24.
Uminom ka ng gatas, inom kang tubig. Tima. Busin mo na yung gatas mo. Magbinta ng ano. Kasi napahabol na kayo.
No.
Yan.
Okay.
Ubusan mo na yung gatas mo.
James, The Stone Life. O sino pahabol na kayo? Ginao ko, RMB. Ano yan? Isda na malapit na iligpit. Kaya pinapahabol mo na, James, ikaw magpa-member na. Ay, ginoo ko na si RMB. Kay, mamuot.
Ubusin mo na yan. Tapos na ako. No, hindi pa. Ha? Upo ka? Ayun lang. Umihi ka na naman. Bastos ka talaga eh.
Sino to? Si Larry.
Natapon na.
Ay, ginoo ko ni mo RMB.
Pamimber na lahat.
Na may tubig pa yung pinakuluan mo, magdala ka nga ilang piraso dito, tingnan ko.
Oy, huwag mong dalhin sa taas yan.
Sige kaya. Hoy, Hoy, RMB, hindi mo need magsabi dyan. Alam nila tsaka kung gusto magpa-member, bukar sa loob, hindi yung dahil sa sinabi mo, uy. Ako hindi ko masasabi kung paano ang host natin ako pagtulong. Kulang pa? Lagyan mo asin. Asin day.
Ubusin mo na yan. Ayaw mo na? Sige. Uy, may asin na rin. Ano?
Bay asin?
May asin.
Ayun o.
Wala man naman.
Ng plastic. Di na mahutan ako diha. Dan Julie. Ay, pala mo ko. Katawa, masakit. Tawa, masakit.
Mahulog ka dyan. Magdanda ka, mahulog ka. Pag may kukulig ka. Marami na siguro ito kay Aaron din.
1,000 na mahigit yan. Piniplay ko yan siya. 2 days ko ngayon pinilay. Straight. Kaso kasi mga ano niya, kunti palang ano niya. Maiksi yung mga video niya. Dapat kasi marami. Para hindi mag tuloy-tuloy. Tuloy-tuloy yung ano ba. Play ko uli yan mamaya. Straight na naman yan. Tapos ko na na-play yung nanalo pala kay nakalimutan ko sabihin kasi si Kuya Duna. Si Sis Jiljon, 2 days ko pinlay. Ano naman kaya lutuin mo yan, kuya mo mamaya eh.
Ayun yung kumain ng ganyan. Subukan mo. Ayaw niya.
Ha?
Ayaw mo, hindi mo sinubukan ng bigyan.
Hindi talaga yung kakain pag ganyan.
Malay mo, gustuhan niya.
Iwan ko lang. Testing natin mamaya. Na-stress na naman yan kaya wala siyang manuhan.
Ano gagawin niya?
Yun nga eh. Sabi ko nga doon na lang sa anak niya. Eh, siguro naman. Gusto niya kasi doon sa bahay niya. Then, yun pala, lumipat yung mga anak ni Yolanda kasi nagkasakit si Yolanda kaya daw doon katira. Hindi naman basta-basta makaano ngayon gawa ng pandemic.
Eh, doon na talaga. Walang ibang ano. Malaki naman yung bahay.
Magkakapira ba ako pag tinitignan ko video mo? Baliw talaga itong dalawa to. Yan yung pure na bruha at saka bruho. Ay, ginawa kong bakikay at saka RMB. Sige, kayo lang dalawa dyan mag-usap. Agora mo bata mo. Kikay. Si Sis Duna ba? Matanda pa pala ako kay Sis Duna. Tignan mo lang good. Kay. Kay. 39 lang pala yung Joby. Ay, Joy. Matanda pa pala ako kay Sis Dona. Hindi ah. Di ba 39 siya? 39, nakita ko sa cake, 39. Daga pa ka, kikay. Daga ba kuno ka kay daga yan, arimbe. Nalista ko na Joy, yung 22 mo. 40 nga. Di magkaedad lang kami pala. Tingnan mo doon sa video, bakit nakalagay doon kay Binskay, 39. 39 years old. Nakalimutan ko sabihin ba na nagmamadali kasi ako sa primer na ano ko, na clear history ko, hindi ko pa pala napasa kasi si Kuy Duna, yung kay Ate Jill John. Ikaw na lang magsabi. Sila si manager. Dan tamsak sa primer mo 24. Tapos na ako nag-play. Nakalimutan ko eh. Oo, sabihin mo, nakalimutan ko kanina kasi nag-clear history ako eh. Hindi ko natuloy na, anong tawag nito? Napicturan. Ipatanong mo kung pumasok na ba. Pero pumasok nga yung kay RMB, yung kay ate kaya hindi pa pasok. Type mo sa GC, oy. O, sige. Nagkuha naman naglitra.
Ayan na ho. Nag-ano na. Masali.
Ang giatay. Baki kay type pa ako. Pasok na ko. Salamat pati ninyo kay. Sige, malapit na rin ako. Gaantay lang ako ng ano. Wala, baka nag-ano na yung ano ko. Premier ko. Anong oras ba yung premier ko? Pistol.
Oh, 30 minutes yun na.
Baka nag-umpisa na. Ay, wala
Ayan.
pa. 7 minutes na lang. Ako ang susunod nito eh. Akala ko ba, RMB, wala kang pasok? Iatay, sabi mo wala kang pasok. So, sinungaling ka yung dako ba? 5 entry ibigay ko sa inyo guys ha pag nandun kayo sa premiere ko guys. Kung ilan yung mga ninja nyo na nanonood doon, ililista ko rin. Kung may mga ninja kayo ipasok doon, basta nakikita ko, ilista ko kayo kanta tani si Kikay Antiba. Kantahan tani. Suspinso ko. Sabi mo papasok ka na. Malapit na yung ano ko, premiere ko. Kung gusto niyo pumasok doon, may entry kayo. Using na jud ko day. Ano sa kare debe? Aw tanawa lang anak kare ha. Hiun ko. Diri ka oh.
Dili na ko.
Ay, sus, Ginoo ko pareho bitataway ligo. Bebe lang ako, bebe.
6 minutes to go. Ayayat. Nachet. Ayayat.
Ano?
Wala.
Andyan pa?
Yan na sila.
Wala pa ante. 5 araw ang suspenso nako.
O bakit sabi mo kanina?
Sabi mo papasok ka.
Pasok na ako. Salamat pati ni mo kay.
Maganda talaga pag may jacket kayo.
Ang taas na buha ng kamera. Kahit nasa gilid daw nakuha yung kamera.
Oh, kuha yan. Ayan oh, kuha lahat yan. Yung kamera ko doon sa kabilang bahay, yun. Dami dyan oh. Ilagay ko yan sa bungad ng gate. Tapos, doon sa gitna, sa sala. Pati doon sa taas, lagyan ko ng kamera yun.
Ipatawag ra ko sa opisina.
Gipatawag ra ka sa opisina.
Sana all. Opisina.
Sana all may upis.
Kailan yan yung nagnari kay suso?
Oh,
Ano balik kang suso?
urot magkadayon. Mura mo kagitilaan.
2 minutes.
Baka ugma na.
2 minutes to go.
Pag maayos pa yung isang Samsung ko, okay na ko sa ano, kahit pang ilang primera, tubangon.
Hindi ka na maganda o gaga. Tatlong cellphone.
Oo,
Pwede naman sa computer ah.
saan?
Pwede
Hindi
naman
pwede kasi yung oras. Magpasok-pasok yung iba, ito kasi may oras yan. Hindi pwede.
60 seconds.
Panghatag og suso.
Dinalitan ko ng suso ah.
200 itaw kilo in taon, RMB. Basig nakaingon ka og kuan. Lagay ko kaya. Uy, lipat ta kayo sa premier ko, oy.
So,
Saan link ng premier?
ipakita sa
Ayan, oh. Ayan, oh. Baba mo dito. Ayan na. Ipasok mo yung mga ano mo kay para maraming entry. Dito, isulat mo dito dahil tapos ilipat
paano
ko
malaman
lang.
pwede mo panoorin dyan?
Oh,
Ay sa isang ano mo yan?
hindi, dyan, oh. Panoorin. Oh, isulat mo dyan kasi ibahin ko pag ano. Charina, miga love, shout out. Charina. Diri-diri naman na mo. Mahalin, oy. Kamahal, go, di ba? Good, diha. Ah, walang kakaibaw, parte yung mahala. Agoy.
Ay, mag-ista na ako, hindi pa.
Ayun, oh, basta lagyan timbro. Ayun, si Kikay, oh, nakita ko si Kikay.
Uwi na. Dyan.
Hindi, yung ano lang may nakalagay, ayun, oh. Mayang, mayang, mayang. Ayan, doon na, Hilario. Ayun, si Mami Lons. Lista mo.
Mami Lods. Sino pa?
Maya.
Wala na. Ano si RMB ah?
RMB, oh, sulat mo. Simpered. Ayan, oh. Sanibik-bik.
Duna Visa. Sino yun?
Tigbay.
Dyan United. Job 21. Una.
Walang harang nito sa akin. Baka hindi naon yung harang nito. Giatay. Tingnan ko nga. Ay, naku. Ang paluko-luko, ha.
Baka mamaya.
Hindi, nakaon. Kala ko din. Nagbaba pa sa bahay si RMB. Giatay ni si RMB, eh.
Yung mga hard wala ilabot na.
Si Virgie, dito yung kanina eh. Ano?
Kapromos.
Huwag yan, hindi yan pumasok sa live ko kanina.
Ah.
Yung pumasok lang. $33 people.
Sige.
Thanks for supporting my channel. Thank you so much. Nasa premiere po guys. Nasa premiere po tayo guys. Nakapin po dyan sa taas guys. Si Virgie. Ang premiere po guys, nandyan nakapin sa taas guys. May entry din kayo guys. May entry po. Patusok host. Salamat. Thanks for the supporting. Nasa premiere po kami. Thanks for the supporting my channel. Nakapin po sa taas. Yung premiere ko po. Pahingi ako na. Halika, mami. Inis talaga tong ano ko ba? Hindi talaga.
Meron niya takaitos doon ah. Yung lang niya dati.
Ayun. Harvey Vlog, Hong Kong. Si Melody.
Sali yun?
Hindi. Si Koy Dona, nalista mo na?
Doon na Hilario?
Oo.
Oh.
Si Vinskay.
Winskay.
Ayun,
Pumasok ba yan?
Oo, Chani Bikbik, nalista mo?
Oo.
Grabe gamaya naman, hindi trani naman yun ang makitaan. 41. Premier ko pa. Dasnil.
Wow, I recognize those things. Oh, yeah, the way that you do those
What?
with that okra, I can tell.
Ay,
Kumain siya na?
sabaw. Di siya ka sup-sup. Sup-sup. Ito pa si Virgie. Postilas to. Ilista mo yan.
Tapos,
Di, ilista mo. Pangalawang account niya yan eh.
tuwa mo ito kanina.
To yung kanina?
Oo.
Mag-sleeping beauty si Darling. Ayan, si Annalyn, oh. Annalyn. Ilista mo dyan. Sig 5 interest yan sila eh. Binskay, tapos na. 5 interest yan, guys. Suklian, ayuda, bago. Mahalin ninyo ako at mamahalin ko rin kayo. Magmamahalan po tayong lahat. Salamat. Thanks for supporting my channel. Nasa premiere pa po kami. Adto na tate. Tuan na gani. Andoon na nga eh. Kaon di ay kaanat eh. Sabi ni tuan sa nibipit. Lamit kayo na. Kami kaayo na. Dahil.
Limang entry?
Tigli 5 entry yan. Ayos sa ibukod mo muna ha.
Kaya nga.
Pakita ko sa kanila yan, tigli 5.
My baby. I love you.
I love you daw, sabi ni Tito. Titi! Bastos talaga.
Kabiri ka dong.
Sisit, buhula naman yan, kumusta na? Okay lang. Wow, sana all. Mahal ko, mahal kita. Kaninong ninja to? Nasa ano kasi kami, thanks for supporting my channel nasa premiere ko. Ayun, yun. Si Jenry day, bigyan mo yan.
Junri. Jinri.
Sawa niya yan Maka-live man din ni again.
Baka ninja yan.
Imuha man din Inday Island. Kang Inday Island man din ay. Kaya nga, kang Inday, ikaw din na Inday Island ha, nakatambay ko dahil, ayan nag-live man din ka Nakatambay ko dahil, ito adito pikas.
Hey, what the hell?
Don't open that la, iba na, si iba na, iba.
Hi.
Yung taga-kamera ko dyan, ngit-ngit na kasi yan Si Manuel.
Ano yan?
Ha? Huwag yan panglagayan sa ano.
Lagay mo sa rep. Saan yan? Doon sa kabila?
Binskay, nalista na si Binskay. Naka-live man din ni Baziha di ay. Kailin. Beb, I finished this one. I'm gonna go to the other house, because I need to clean, and like I said, I need to throw the garbage at a lot of cement,
Oh, goodness, what's forward?
Go to sleep so that I'm secured.
Oh, wow.
to sleep in the toilet.
Did you hear on that Papa, your son, what he said?
I sleep better if I fall asleep watching porn.
Maglungag sa ko kay mga hoy akong pares. Sige lang RNB, no problem. Malapit na rin ako magtapos. Manuel, maghiwa ka na ng ano? Maghiwa ka nga, Jerome, para maluto ko na. Saglit lang yan. Sibuyas, bawang. Para matimplahan ko na. Sibuyas, bawang, luya. Ihalo ko kasi yung ano, dali ko lang. Mayroon?
Saan ba?
Tingnan mo
Duwan
dyan.
naman,
Naku,
Will.
giduwaan na sa nabuang.
Saan?
Diyan, basta huwag ka munang disturbo at may ginagawa ko dito.
Ano? Ano?
Pagtapos ng premiere guys ha, balik kayo dito para alam nyo yung ano nyo guys. Yung entry nyo. Walang problema dong.
Puro sibuyas. Luya.
Luya.
Kailangan din ng luya.
Binigyan ko kasi Ivan ng ano. Ang tawag ito. Suso. Binigyan ko rin si Bibian. Gusto. Bibian nga gusto eh. Yan, laut-laut dun sa gata.
Ay, baka naman gata.
Duha kapak ang butang gata. Huwag rin kakaon si Jerome.
Hindi na ka nakain na kuya?
Hindi. Sabi niya kasi, bukas na. Tuloy, ang kakaon.
Ay, hati nga pala no, bakit ito pinipiyat?
Hindi laruan yan, ha?
Salamat, guys.
Tapos na?
Oo, tapos na.
Kaning winner, pumasok ko sa ano mo?
Oo, pumasok yan.
Yung jug.
Anong jug?
Jug 21.
Oo, pumasok yan.
Yung John United.
Obizem Taronasi, Miga Miga Love, shout out. Ano?
John United.
Hindi yan pumasok.
Wala ko.
Lapagan, dikitan, suklian, paayuda sa bago kong maging masaya kasama ang mga kaibigan. Nagpatuloy pa din ako. Wow. Guys, eto na yung ano nyo, oh. Babasahin ko na, guys. Babasahin ko na. Dan. Salamat, dalandan. Eto na, guys, oh. Babasahin ko yung ano nyo, entry nyo. 5, tigli 5 yan. Binskay, tika lang ha. Pahingi, Gabi, madam. Nanghingi lang din ako. Mamilons. Tika lang. Kay mamilons. Kulang ko to ng isa. Basta 4 ito. Chani Bekbek. Ika lang. Ano ba yung Chani Bekbek? Saan bang puro kikay yung nakita ko dito? Chani Bekbek. Chani Bekbek. Ako, ante, pasok ako. Oo, mayroon dito. Saglit lang. Ayan, Chani Bekbek. 5. Ika lang. Kikay. Ano ba si Kikay? Si Bakikay. Kikay.
Si Dudong.
Duna.
Eh.
Kikay. Ika lang. Dona, 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 Dona. 5, Dona. Generate. Saan na ba kayo generate? Saka, basta anuhin natin muna ha. Yung nandito muna, saglit lang. RMB, 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 RMB.
Saan ka pupunta?
Ano ba yun? RMB, RMB, RMB. Meron ka din, ano, bumbimban. Meron ka, nilista kita eh. Berje, 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 Berje. Hindi pa tapos kasi eh. Tika lang ha. 5 na pala tong Berje. Wina, 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 Wina. Ito yung kay Mamilon sa isa kanina. 4 lang yung kanina eh. Binskay, Binskay. Tika. Annalyn, 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 Annalyn. Binskay, 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 Binskay. Yan o. Jag 29, Jag 29, Jag 29, Jag 29. Ay, 29, 21 pala. Giatay. 21. Ayan, 4. Genre, genre. Genre, ayan o. Genre, 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 genre. Ayan. Wala na. Ay, salamat guys.
Yeah. Paano mo yan?
Salamat sa lahat. Patusok ako. Salamat. Tusukin nyo nga si ano guys, si Obizem at saka si Bumbimban guys. Si Bumbimban. Sangkay James Vlog, mega love shoutout. Kumusta? Okay lang po. Salamat sa pagtusok. Mga kapatid, buhay mo kapatid.
Uy, andito pa ka RMB yung.
Hindi, sa ano yan? Wala yan. Iba na yan.
Ba't nilagay ko pa dito? Dapat tinapong na po. Hindi ating ibasa-basa. Ano si...
Guys, magbabay na ako guys. Maraming salamat guys. Maraming salamat. Bye-bye. Genre, RMB Vlog, Binskay, Obidjem, and Sangkay. Tapos na po ako guys. Bye-bye po. Maraming salamat po.